go. Today's day 86, and Joseph's had a kind of a rough day. He had the pink compression band on, and the doctors were doing their best to leave it on because they said if he doesn't have any sort of compression, the organs will just settle into an outward position, and what we need them to do is try and migrate back inside. So we need some form of compression, and if he can't handle this compression, he'll never be able to handle the tissue pressure from the tissue expander. So we have to try and go slow and teach his body to accept the pressure. So they were trying to leave the pink on and maybe just lower the feedings to see if they could work within it and just try and get him to keep the band on. But he was just gotten to the point where he was just spitting everything up and vomiting and vomiting and vomiting. So they had to cut the band off, and they replaced it with a yellow band that they put on much looser this time. But he's pretty hoarse, either from crying or from his throat being sore from so much vomiting. But he's a pretty sad little camper. Pretty sad, and a pretty sad sounding little camper tonight. But, we had the care conference, kind of sort of over the phone, and because Dr. Obermeyer couldn't stick around till 4. But he says that the risk of infection is just too high. Joseph needs to stay here a little bit longer. And we can revisit the issue of him going home every 2 weeks until he gets to the point where he is healthy enough to go home. But I asked about any other babies he's ever treated with ruptured valocele, or that CHKAV has had. When was the last time they had another kid with a ruptured valocele? And he said he's only ever seen one, and that kid did not live and died from infection. So we are going to do our best to make sure that Joseph doesn't become 2 for 2. We're going to do our best, and I can understand now his extreme caution over infection, because the only other case like Joseph he's ever had ended that way. So we'll be safe rather than sorry, and we'll just spend some more time here. Say good night, everybody.